How are we doing, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Championship Roundup. It's been another dramatic weekend of results, and if you haven't catched our first two episodes, this is what the show is all about. This particular series, we're going to review the Championship results from the weekend and what they mean to the league table and, to an extent, Leeds United. So, we're 3 games in, and already none of the 24 teams have a 100% record. Every single team at some stage over the first 3 games has dropped points. This league is just getting more and more competitive. The gap between the first to the bottom is nothing. It's actually nothing. You really can't tell half the time, and it's just absolutely mad that no team has gone 100% yet. After 3 games, every single team has dropped points at some stage. That's absolutely crazy, and it shows how tight this division is going to be this season. But yeah, I'm going to go straight to Barnsley 2, Charlton 2. So Charlton, the early surprises so far this season. Of course, I think everyone, with the situation Charlton are in, expected Charlton to struggle. But yeah, I mean, they've been absolutely brilliant so far this season. I think it's 7 goals scored. Lyle Taylor, someone they picked out on that first episode of the season, the start of the season, has been a potential surprise star this season. I think he's already one of the Championship top scorers. I think he's got 3 goals already so far this season. He gets the last minute equaliser in this game. Charlton go behind in the game with Corley Woodrow, and then Sam Gallagher gets an equaliser just before half time. And as Lee Bowyer said in this post match, he felt that Charlton had the chance in the first half to go in ahead. Barnsley seemed to have a much better second half performance, sort of first 30-35 minutes. But then they go ahead through Conor Chaplin, and then Charlton just show that fighting spirit. They've shown that fighting spirit for a long time now, and they always will do under a manager like Lee Bowyer. 2-2. Lyle Taylor gets the equaliser, and Charlton are unbeaten to start the season and are second in the table at the moment. And to an extent, you have to say fair play to them. They've beaten Blackburn away, beaten Stoke at home, and got a point at Barnsley. That's a good start to the season. But Barnsley will be a little bit disappointed at the minute. They've had a defeat to Sheffield Wednesday, defeat to Carlisle in the EFL Cup, lost 3-0. And then I think they'll be a little bit disappointed with that. Dropping points, to a team that were in the same league as last season. But I think both teams are going to really surprise a few this season. I think most sort of like pundits and that lot tipped both to be in a relegation battle. At the minute, that's not looking like the case. Both playing an exciting brand of football. Next result I want to go to is third in the table now, West Brom. They got a good win at Luton. They started the game absolutely terribly. Luton boss Graham Jones was had a lot of praise for Luton's first half performance. They went ahead through Harry Cornick, but it looked like West Brom were absolutely all over the place for the first half of the game. Slaven Bilic makes a change. Grady Diangana comes on, who's on loan from West Ham. He changes the game. West Brom win the game 2-1. It's a completely different second half. And you just see West Brom start to dominate the game. I mean, you're looking at it there, 24 shots to Luton's 8. They're having a lot of the territorial advantage in that second half. And I think, Slaven Bilic is one of those managers who, if he's not happy with what he sees, he makes a change. Reputations don't matter at all. I'm just trying to remind myself who came off for Diangana. Kyle Edwards came off. Again, Charlie Austin was on the bench. He's not quite had that walked into the team. That's probably what you're going to find with West Brom this season. I think you're going to find that they're going to make changes like that. They've got a manager in Slaven Bilic who's not going to... I think West Brom, of course, were one of the favourites last season, and they failed really not getting promoted last season with the firepower they had. They've now got less firepower, but I think as a team, I think they're better. I think they are better as a team. They're grinding out results. That's a good win at Luton. They got that good win at Forest. Yeah, they dropped points against Millwall, but it's a good start to the season for them as well. 7 points from the first 3 for West Brom. 4th in the table, another surprising team, Swansea. Got a good win against Preston. Preston started the game really well. Joe Rafferty scored a goal, which I think the keeper should do better with. Freddie Woodman should do better with the goal. And then Boye Baston, one of the surprises of the season, the replacement for Ollie McBurney. Again, what Swansea's club record signing, absolutely nowhere to be seen for the first 3 years. I think he had a poor first season in the Premier League. I think he scored 1 goal in the Premier League in 16-17. Goes on loan to Spain for 2 years. And I think every single Swansea fan's forgotten about him. He's a player who came with a massive reputation, but now he's come back into the side, and he's one of the top scorers in the Championship. 3 goals from early doors. It looks like a decent replacement for Ollie McBurney. And to be fair, I've got to be impressed with Swansea so far. They got a good result at Derby last weekend, penalty save, and they're getting results. Maybe not convincing. You look at that, and you think that's probably not the most convincing of wins. And Preston certainly felt they could have got something from the game. Alex Neil said they should have been ahead at half time. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Joe Byers gets the other goal as well. And yeah, it's interesting what Swansea are trying to build there. Of course, they've lost a very important player in Ollie McBurney and Dan James from an attacking sense. But as a team, again, I think they do look better. They are getting more results, they have got a good spread of goals as a team. So yeah, I think it's an interesting one really. You know, seeing Swansea. I think when they have got some tough games to come up as well. But Preston are such a strange team. Yeah, they lose on the first day at Millwall with an awful performance, an absolutely dreadful performance. They don't really have a shot on target in that first game at Millwall. Then they absolutely hammer Wigan in a game they won 3-0. Speaking to a few Wigan fans at the game yesterday, they felt they could have lost that game by more at Preston. And then they start this game really well at Swansea and they ship 3 goals. I think Preston you look at and you think defensively there's a couple of issues there. You know, they're letting cheap goals in. And yeah, you know, you can't be letting 3 goals in away from home and expecting to pick up results. So that's 4th in the table, Swansea. Now another surprising team, Millwall, one of the surprise and star packages of the season so far. 2 clean sheets at home, another clean sheet today and a 1-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday. It went down to 10 men, Jez Wallace got sent off, probably their best attacking player, and Matt Smith, what a signing that has been, Matt Smith. I mean, someone who absolutely suits Millwall's football down to the ground. I'm not having a go at Millwall's football. Millwall's football has been hugely effective at this level before. They finished 8th in 17-18 and defensively they're absolutely solid. You know, 2 clean sheets at home. And then I think they only let in 1 at West Brom, which is, you've got to say, 1 goal in the first 3 games, playing some good teams, is good going. Sheffield Wednesday have made a good start to the season, still got Lee Bullen as the caretaker boss, and they'll be disappointed with this, you know, they've not won the game. But again, it's another game where you look at and you think, on another day, Sheffield Wednesday probably do get something there. They had 21 shots to Millwall's 3, 70% of the ball. Okay, probably a lot of that was down to the 10 men situation, but you've got to say fair play to Millwall. Defensively, you look at that defensive line they went with today, Marlon Romeo, Alex Pearce, Jake Cooper, Murray Wallace. You know, that's a solid back 4. That's a back 4 that wins you games. Bartosz Białkowski, one of the best shot stoppers in the league. You know, I think on his day he's a top shot stopper. So it's fair to say that defensive line is very good. Look at Alex Pearce, Jake Cooper. I think it's commanding. It's winning everything in the air, and it's hard to break that down, especially with 10 men. We're in the low block. I think that's really tough to break down. And Neil Harris, he knows how to get Millwall playing at home, especially. So that's a good result for them. But on to Matt Smith. I think he suits their football down to the ground. I think he's been unlucky. I think he's a top player, Matt Smith. To be honest, I really liked him at Leeds. I really like him at Leeds. I think that we played to his strengths at Leeds. And I think the last couple of clubs he's been to, he's not been at clubs where he plays to his strengths. You know, he's very much a player who wants that ball first time and early, you know, in the air, so he can have that physical advantage. And then crossed into the box, you know Matt Smith's going to score, he's absolutely lethal in the air. And then defensively on set pieces, you've got someone like Matt Smith coming back to defend, and you know, it's good options they've got at Millwall. Obviously Tom Bradshaw came on, and Conor Mahoney, that's a good signing too. He's going to swing those balls into Matt Smith, something that Conor did touch on. You know, I didn't really fancy Millwall at the start of the season, but I'm looking at them now, they've got a nice balance to them. Ben Thompson in the middle, nice bit of a box-to-box engine. But yeah, they are looking like a good team. It's interesting to see how they do without Jez Wallace though, you know, the main creative hub in the team. So then on to Fulham, who got a good win. I should probably start with Fulham to be fair, thinking about it, but Fulham got a good win at Huddersfield on Friday, which saw the end of Jan Sievert's reign at Huddersfield. So it's interesting really. I think Fulham totally deserved the 3 points. I don't think either team was particularly good on the day, but I think Fulham had that little bit more creativity. Alexander Mitrovic gets himself another goal. But then you saw the other side of Alexander Mitrovic, you know, later on in the game when he probably was trying to get Rajiv van der Power sent off. If you haven't seen it already, basically both were on the ground, and Alexander Mitrovic was trying to, you know, say he's been kicked in the face. It was completely untrue. You know, he was going down, you know, his hand in his head in his hands, and yeah, you know, it's the other side of Alexander Mitrovic. But any team, I think Alexander Mitrovic will get any of these 24 teams. If any of these 24 teams in the league had Alexander Mitrovic as a striker, they'd be pushing for the playoffs. They'd make the top 6. He is that good. He is that clinical. He will be the top scorer in the Championship this season for me. Absolutely incredible player to have at this level. Probably one of, if not the best players in the league, to be fair. But yeah, that's, you know, it's a really good sign for Fulham. It's got him out of that game. Ivan Caballero gets the winner. But Huddersfield's an interesting one really. What kind of route they go down with the replacement for Jan Sievert? Do they go down the you know, into the European market again for a more unproven young manager, you know, who's going to have these ideas of a philosophy, or do they go down the potential tried and trusted, you know, British route of manager? You know, you look at try to think of names you can think of. Chris Hughton, Nigel Pearson, probably the first 2 that come to mind. So there's probably a lot more as well. Tony Pulis as well. Do they go down that route? Do they lose to an extent their identity to get results, or do they try and keep their identity and go to what's got them the success? Maybe they might even look at David Wagner, going back in for David Wagner, I don't know. Actually, off the top of my head, I think David Wagner might actually have a new job. But yeah, it'd be interesting in what route they go down Huddersfield. They've got some good players on that side. Alex Pritchard Carl Grant's probably one of the most underrated players in the league for me, and they signed him on from Charlton last January. He got goals for him when they were struggling, in the Premier League badly. He started this season well, and he looks a really, really good striker for me. Again, you look at your best strikers in the league, he'd be up there for me. He very much reminds me of Che Adams in the sense that he's not just goals, he makes things happen in the build-up. He can take on the player, he can press well. He's a really, really dangerous player for me. And yeah, another interesting one. A team we're playing next weekend, Stoke 2, Derby 2. Another really good game. I think both teams have shown that attacking intent. Stoke haven't got the results so far, but Stoke are playing well. Stoke are playing well. Make no mistakes about that. It's not just Nathan Jones. He was very frustrated he didn't win the game. I've not really seen a post-match like it off Nathan Jones. He was just absolutely furious he hadn't won the game. I think every single time he says, "We've cost ourselves, we've cost ourselves, we've cost ourselves." But I think when you keep playing well, eventually the results will come. So yeah, an interesting one there. 2 goals from Martin Waghorn. Derby took the lead early doors, but they went for front 2 Stoke of Lee Gregory and Scott Hogan, the new signings, and I think they linked up really well. I think the Stoke fans were very impressed by both. They have got a lot of strikers at the club, but I think Lee Gregory, Scott Hogan have got that hunger. I think they've got the experience at this level and that hunger, and I think they linked up well. Scott Hogan got the second goal. And it looked like Stoke were going to win the game, and then a penalty which was questionable for me. I think it was a questionable penalty. Martin Waghorn sticks it away. And yeah, it's a good result for Derby. They've had a tough start to the season. They've had some tough games to play, Derby. Huddersfield away, Swansea at home, and Stoke away today. And they're trying to play that possession-based brand of football. But I think Stoke really did cause them problems today, and they'll be disappointed they didn't win that game. But make no mistake about it, that game next weekend is going to be a tough game. I know Stoke are 23rd at the minute, but that's going to be a tough game that next weekend. And Derby are just outside the playoffs themselves. Nottingham Forest 3, Birmingham 0. Forest got themselves the first win of the season. It just sums up the unpredictable nature of the Championship. I thought Forest were disappointing last weekend against us. They didn't really on the ball. In terms of creativity, I don't think they created a lot, but they get themselves a fantastic win today, and it's the first defeat in the league for Pep Clotet. Joe Lolly, Lewis Grabban, and Michael Dawson. Now you look at Lolly and Grabban, and they act as a real, potential 30, 35 goal a season sort of partnership there. Lolly on the left, Grabban through the middle. They're trying to play this 4-1-4-1 system. But yeah, Forest get themselves a really, really good win there. Sabri Lamucci touches on it and says it's probably their best win or best performance of the season so far. So that's a good win for Forest. And Forest, as I said in that review last weekend, they will be around the top 6 for me this season. You look at the strength of the team. They have got a strong squad they're building there, and it's a squad, not just a starting 11 they're building. They're trying to play this more attacking brand of football. I think it's probably the first kind of game where it has come to fruition. For Pep Clotet, one thing he touched on was he has a lot of new players in his team that he's trying to gel into the team. But that'll be a disappointing one for Pep Clotet. I'm not sure what's happening with my pronunciations today. But yeah, they've had 2 poor defeats in the first 4. They lost 3-0 at Portsmouth, 3-0 today at Forest. Portsmouth was in the cup, albeit they've been hammered in 2 games there. And yeah, I think obviously they got a little bit lucky at Brentford as well, so there'll be a little bit of concern with Birmingham start. And I think points-wise it's okay, but performance-wise maybe not so much. Ivan Sunjic started the game today, and yeah, but I think Birmingham, you look at the players they've brought in, they have made some quality signings, just like I just touched on there. Ivan Sunjic is a good signing. But yeah, good start for Forest. 4 points, had some tough games to play. They will be up there this season for me. And Hull, Brentford 1, Hull 1. Now Brentford obviously are playing this weekend, and this is 2 teams who just attack. I think it's the 2 top scorers in the league over the last 2 years. Hull got 70 goals in 17-18, 66 goals last season. They are going to score goals. You've got Jared Bowen, you've got Kamil Grzycki on the other line, on the other side, and Tom Eaves through the middle who's come up from League 1 and been prolific at League 1 level, and I fancy to be quite good at this level too. That's a good front 3 that they're building at Hull, and Hull have dominated a lot of the game. Bowen and Grzycki, short, pacey, incisive players, players who can really play between the lines, cut inside, go on the outside, got that good bit of variety to the game. They're going to cause a lot of problems this season, and they cause a lot of problems for a good team in Brentford. And it's 2 games where Brentford haven't won at home. They took 1 point from the first 2 games at home against Birmingham and Hull. They'll be disappointed with that. And there was a little bit of frustration towards Thomas Frank after the game. Thomas Frank had a little bit of a pop at the Brentford fans, saying they were impatient, or words to that effect. But yeah, it's interesting what's happening at Brentford. If they massively fancy them to be contenders for automatic promotion. I still do actually fancy them to be contenders for automatic promotion. But Ollie Watkins has gone to the striker role. He's scored 2 goals in 2 games, and he's done really well. So it'll be interesting to see how Brentford do get on this season. Obviously more players are lost, but Ollie Watkins is doing well in the striker's role at the minute. But yeah, a good game of football where there was 35 shots between the two teams, 15 Brentford, 20 for Hull. So it's been a good game of football. Both teams have shown plenty of attacking intent. Some of the games to look at: Blackburn 1, Middlesbrough 0. A Danny Graham penalty midway through the first half. Both teams have started the season badly. It was an important win for Blackburn. They needed that. The performances haven't been too bad. Certainly at Fulham, they deserved a point last week at Fulham. But yeah, it's a good win for Blackburn in a tough week. They were pushed all the way by Oldham. In the cup, we got a good 3-2 win. Well, it wasn't a good 3-2 win, but the win was a win. And yeah, you look at it and you think it could have gone either way that week for Blackburn. If they hadn't have won that game, they might have been in a bit of bother. But a good win against Middlesbrough, and it's a slow start for Jonathan Woodgate. 4 games without a win. Lost the last 3. Lost on penalties to Crewe at home and the cup as well. So yeah, I wouldn't say the pressure's on Jonathan Woodgate. I think he's got a massive task there at Middlesbrough. He's trying to play this more expressive brand of football, a better brand of football. And it's tough, it's tough to try and instill that, after they've had a more defensive style and Tony Pulis has lost players. So it's a big job that for Jonathan Woodgate. I'd like to think he isn't under pressure. I want to see him do well at Middlesbrough. But yeah, it's a tough job that. He's trying to build a new philosophy, and he's not really got the players to do it with. He hasn't been able to spend big money, something that Middlesbrough have been able to do in the past, but haven't been able to do this season. So I think it's looking like probably a mid-table season for Middlesbrough at the minute. They are going to have to pick things up if they are going to be pushing for the playoffs this season for me. Bristol City 2, QPR 0. 2 goals for the 2 new signings, Adam Narji and Benica Fobi. Now Benica Fobi is an interesting one. He gets himself his first goal. Stoke don't want him. They've loaned him up to Bristol City, and Bristol City have a good record with players like this. Strikers, they have got a good record with strikers. Adam Narji looks like a really, really exciting player. Really, almost like to an extent a championship kind of version of what's probably the best, like a championship version of Fabinho to an extent. He's got that creativity to him. He's got that aggression. He can score goals, as he's shown today. But yeah, he looks like a good player to me. Someone who could be a really good replacement for Marlon Pack, if not a upgrade really on Marlon Pack. Bristol City keeping it tight at the back as well. But yeah, I don't think it was a walk in the park today. QPR had a lot of the ball, a lot of the play according to Mark Warburton, and they've made 2 errors themselves. But yeah, that's a good win that for Bristol City. And through a slightly difficult start to the season, they're suddenly getting themselves to the mid-table, and they'll fancy themselves again to push on this season. Other results to go through. Is there any other results to go through? I think that is us all covered for the Championship roundup, guys. But anyway, guys, it's been another interesting week of Championship football. Every single team's dropped points at some stage this season. Some good games to come up in the midweek as well. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there with the Championship roundup. Well, we'll see you later, guys. Make sure you check out our previews of Brentford and Conor's review, which is coming up. Probably has already been uploaded before the videos come up, of the Wigan game. And check out mine and Joe's views of Wigan 0, Leeds 2 as well, guys. Top of the table, Championship roundup. We'll see you later, guys.